You gonna send us all a copy or just you? Would have been nice,
I just
right?
got it today.
Oh, okay. You actually have to send it to Champagne and have her send it to us.
I guess Walker won't be able to address this case.
It's not lit. No, just had to push, no, push the, where it says.
Oh, there you go.
hello. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, February 13th, 2022 meeting of the Code Compliance Board. Would you take the roll, please? Here?
Here.
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 Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or withdrawals? Yes?
My inclination, this is the fourth time, I believe. This is the fourth time.
Fourth time, I think it's.
I said it.
On the other hand, it doesn't involve a active violation, so, well, that's
What
different.
it does involve is a situation where it's stalled active federal the cost of the admin citation.
Well. All right, well, we'll take a vote on it when it comes up, okay? So no additions, withdrawals, or, okay. We have two sets of minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review them? And if so, would anybody care to make a motion?
I would make a motion to approve both the December 1 and January 26 minutes.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Okay. Good evening. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Parks Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the Village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and we are not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to excuse violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court. That is to hear cases presented by the village code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of the law to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violator into compliance, and to assess administrative costs if they are found guilty of the civil violation charged. You will be assessed an administrative fee in some cases. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation or the relevant section of the code is charged. This hearing will proceed in the order of the docket of the village, The village will first present its case, and the board may request clarifications to fully understand the case. If you wish to address the board, when you're called upon, please state your name, your relationship to the property, meaning are you the owner or a representative of the owner, and state whether you are contesting the violation. In which case, you will then have the opportunity to present your case. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses, or any matters relevant to the issues, even though matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witness regardless of which party first called upon to testify and to submit the evidence. If you intend to address the board, please raise your right hand. And if you would, please swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth under penalty of the law. At this point, say, I do. All right, thank you. I'm sorry for that long introduction. It was just given to me this evening. We had a much shorter version. And anyway, with that, would you like to present the first case, Stephen? Anybody care to make a motion?
Yeah, my motion would be, now that this is the fourth time that the owner has asked for an extension and not attended, that we deny the appeal to bring some closure. And I realize it's not an active violation, but you still need to bring closure to this and not keep going. So my motion would be to deny the appeal.
All right, I'll second. Any further comments or questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes 4-0. Deny any further appeals. Next case. I believe it was Mr. Franco's son that spoke. And I don't see him. He's not
Yeah,
here.
he's here. There he is.
Oh, pardon me. Didn't see him back there.
Ibrahim, could you ask him to speak up just between?
Ok, si puede hablar un poquito alto.
Doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's right.
Perdón. Oh, he doesn't speak English.
Right, I remember.
Right.
They don't speak with
If you would.
La puerta ya tiene. So it was built, it was reviewed by structure this morning. And it's gonna be, or just needs to be reviewed by building, so it's ongoing the process.
Okay, so a permit has now been applied for. Okay,
Could you refresh us a little? There was a situation. about
Sure.
the
I mean,
door.
the door with observed change, and they stated it was like an emergency, but they had, because of something, the hardware, but the father's disabled, and so this has been ongoing. There was
Right.
more of a language barrier,
Mhm.
language stuff, so
Uh,
they're already ongoing, and they're coming to the village, and we're assisting them any way we can.
Mr. Franco had to get the power of attorney in order
Oh,
to,
that
to
part, right, thank you.
sign the permit.
Tiene no, esto es solamente hablando que tú puedes hablar por tu papá.
Ok.
Sí, el poder de... Eso lo puede traer lo más pronto posible, dame que tú tienes derecho. Entonces, oh, we do have a copy of it. We
Okay.
went to the
Yeah. I assume if he was getting a permit that he had it.
We do have.
All right, so, anybody care to make a motion?
He's
Can I
asking
ask a
that-
question?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We, at a previous meeting, made a motion to, and to put on a fine. And it was a rather significant amount. It was like $200.
It is $200 and a $20 gift.
Right. Can anything be done in terms of, under the circumstances that we got additional information that he presented the last time? Plus he's gone ahead and applied that we could make an amendment to that fine.
If my memory serves me, I think we were doing that as a precautionary measure, recognizing the fact, no?
No, we did not, and that's why,
$100
Information.
fine and a $20 day. And we,
This is
uh,
new
we
information.
tabled the fine, case was tabled and the fine was suspended until the matter was resolved.
Right.
Exactly,
So,
that's what I
yeah.
remember.
So
So we never actually imposed that fine.
yeah, we
He's
did.
appealing it. We
We did, and he was appealing it.
November meeting.
I thought it was suspended.
No,
Okay, in any event,
so I'd like to revisit that fine.
I agree.
okay. I agree as well. So if you'd like to make a motion, Linda, please.
I'd like to make a motion that, we rescind the fine that was imposed at the, I forget, it was the January meeting?
No,
or Meeting,
November,
November meeting, whatever meeting it was.
11/24/2020.
Okay, at that meeting.
And,
You just want to remove. it?
okay, you want to vote on that first? We'll vote, I'll second, and we'll just vote on that, okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, all in favor of rescinding the fine, both the penalty fine and the daily fine, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Okay, so we still have we have to do something with this case, as far as making sure that the gentleman is following through with this. You think there's any further action? Are you gonna, there's automatic double permit fee, correct?
Or is it under the circumstances, we were gonna waive it?
You're waiving the double permit fee?
Yes.
I have problems with that. I mean, we're waiving the initial
waiving the
fine and the
fine.
daily fine. So I would move in case EEN 21-1108, that a violation did occur, that we've given the owner benefit of reducing the fine that was from November,
Mhm.
but we do feel that the double permit fee should be
Absolutely.
applied.
I second that.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. I thought we had suspended that. That's-
Well, at the last meeting.
Ah,
We didn't in the beginning, the gentleman had to do that.
What we did was suspend
Now I
the
remember.
fine
Yeah.
Until it was resolved.
but we didn't remove it.
Efrain? Can he come in the building department tomorrow and explain it to him, because we're just holding up the whole meeting? All right, thank you.
Muchas gracias.
All right. 5C.
Okay, 5C1. That will be case number EN 21-1106. Property address 11650, 11652, Northeast 11th Place. Natalie Peluchet and Stephen Linos. That was for a bamboo fence still up. The violation was observed October 3rd, 2021. And I believe it is, it has been removed.
Okay,
They're in compliance?
Yes. So yes, and also, yeah, so that, on that one, they are in compliance. They just put up a brand new fence that they have permitted for them.
okay. Anybody care to make a motion?
So they have,
In case number EEN 21-1106, a violation did occur. They have since come into compliance. That's a $75 fine and close the case when paid.
Okay, 5C2. Oh, we got to vote, I'm sorry.
Second.
It's a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 I'm sorry,
Motion
you
passes.
seconded, Gary?
Dale did. Motion passes 4-0. 5C2. I thought we had acted on this before, because this was removed.
No, we moved them forward and
You moved
they
it
didn't
forward?
come last month because they hadn't been sent a notice to appear.
Okay.
That's why the two are in this one.
okay, so this is 5C2. Case number EN 21-1107. Same address, 11650 and 11652 Northeast 11th Place. Same property owner, Stephen Linaus. And as for failure to remove lattice fence, they have did remove the lattice fence, put in
Yeah,
a brand new fence.
They're
yes.
also in
Has been
compliance on this
corrected,
one?
yes.
All right, I'll make a motion in case EEN 21-1107, that the property owner has come into compliance and that we close the case. Second?
No fine?
Second.
Shouldn't we be consistent? We did put a fine for the first one.
This.
It's
going-
part of the back.
Only for consistency that
That was fine for the first.
75.
All right, so. Dale, did you second, Dale?
I did. But
Okay,
Isn't
so
this from?
let's vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're good. I have to vote. So we have it split. We'll say the motion doesn't pass. All right, do you wish to make another motion?
Sure. In EEN 21-1107, a violation did occur. They've since committed compliance. Assessed a $75 fine, close the case when paid.
All right.
I'll second that.
Have a second from Linda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. All right.
So this was agenda item 5D, case number EN 21-0708. Property address 11841-11843 Northeast 12th Court. This is owner giving update to board and requesting additional time because for an extension. Is a person here?
Good evening.
Oh,
Yes, Your Honor, I'm requesting an
you have
extension.
to speak
I'm
a little
sorry,
bit louder.
cannot hear you.
Your Honor, I'm requesting an extension. for the septic tank.
Okay, she's requesting extension for the septic. This is the-
This has been going on for months.
What is the current status?
So what's going on? She said that it's still with the county.
Do we have any evidence that it's actually been submitted to the county?
Do you have anything showing that it was been submitted to the county?
I've been calling, so the lady that was working on the case, she said she got fired. So when I called the owner, he said that he hired a person that working on the case. So
I can't hear anything she's saying. I'm
You're
sorry.
gonna have to speak up, ma'am. We really can't
And between the
understand you.
Plexiglass, it's difficult, and the mics are sensitive only when you speak straight in.
Hold the
Yeah.
mic closer if you would. Maybe you'll be helped.
the lady that was working on the case, she said she got fired. So when I called the owner, he said he hired a new person that working on the case. So that is the reason I'm requesting an extension.
Okay, now, when you say the owner, are you talking about the company that you
The
hired to
company.
install the tank?
Yes, Your Honor.
You
I
have any
can-
documentation?
No, I don't have documentation with me. He said he was gonna email me today, and when I check my email, I don't see anything.
Are we talking about the company, or we talking about the county?
That's the company.
The company,
So the company, as I understand it, was to submit for the permit, but they have not done that?
no, they were working on it. They told me that they were gonna put like 2 small tank. I say, and I have to clean it every year. I said, it's not my advantage to put like 2 small tank. It's better for me to put the one tank instead of 2 small one.
Ibrahim,
So-
are there people living in this?
Yes.
neighborhood? And this case was opened June 11th of last year. We are now at 8 months working to 9, and people are living in there, and this hasn't been.
But
fixed.
there is no problem. There is no bathtub, no nothing. There is not clogging. I have no problem with it since then.
Because they had it pumped.
But it's still,
Okay, the violation, just, was that the sewage was backing
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay, and as part of that, we said either the drain field or the septic tank needs to be replaced. So that's still an issue, but in a sense, the original violation is not recurring. All right, it was a pretty hefty fine,
Mhm.
It has not been paid.
and I know, I'm getting to that.
Oh.
So I think the concern is, since we don't know and we can't follow if this is ever going to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would make a motion or put it up for discussion of putting a lien on the property to ensure that the village's interests are protected.
I would agree. I would
Right.
second that, sorry.
Okay.
Now let's open up for discussion. I just, basically, we already, and I see where the lien is, we already have assessed a fine, and the request for an extension, if they're in compliance now, it's not an issue of the drain, the septic tank is overflowing into the backyard anymore. Whether it's pumped out every other month or not is for the owner. As long as it's not a public safety concern. It hasn't been overflowing. So
So-
what are we actually hearing now? I mean, the extension for what? If,
Well, the initial concern was, the fine was for a life safety violation
it's a $200 day,
and then a daily fine.
3,000.
So I think what you're,
Daily fine.
yeah. And I think in all fairness, since the violation is not active, that we might suspend the daily fine.
I think
Okay.
so also, because,
But-
what's the date that we would be?
But
suspending?
still, rather than having to go through this week after week after week, is that we just put a lien on the property. If it gets satisfied, we can deal with that lien at that time. All right? So,
There's got to be some safety net
right.
for the village, and leaving it just open is not it. Yeah, I would agree to suspend the daily, but yes, I think we need to place it at 3,000.
Or the daily fines up to the point where it's brought into compliance, okay? I think we have a record of when it was pumped. If we go back through your files, because I remember you telling us.
I believe so.
Okay. So I'm going to make a motion in case EEN 210708, a violation did occur, a fine was imposed rather, of $3,000, and there was a $200 a day daily fine. That the daily fine be suspended as of the date that our records indicate the tank was pumped, and that no further fines be levied unless there's a further violation. However, that we vote to impose a lien on the property. And at such a time as it comes fully into compliance, we will readdress that lien and any amounts that have been accrued.
I would second.
All right. Any further discussion or comments?
No.
Not all in favor, say aye.
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 Liz, are you clear on that? All right, thank you. All right, so what we're doing, ma'am, is this has taken an extraordinary long time. You'll be getting a letter saying we intend to lien the property. Okay, you do not have to reappear unless there is another violation. At such time as you replace the septic tank, make sure that you contact the village, make sure you come back and speak to us, and we'll talk about the lien, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, case number 6A1. That would be case number EN 220100. Property address 655 Northeast 116th Street. Mario Figueroa, Richard Castro. Trash been out on wrong day.
Hello. Yes. Well, I took it out on Monday. I couldn't
Okay,
come.
your name, please?
Oh, my name is Mariher Figueroa. I'm the owner of the 655 Northeast 116th Street.
All right, thank you.
So I took the garbage on Monday, couldn't come back during the night, and then the violation was done on Tuesday. So I wasn't home. Do we really go into this much detail around here? Just wondering.
Well, that's for the code
First time
compliance
ever.
officer to reply.
I didn't hear you. Excuse me?
Well, I took the garbage out on Monday and I couldn't come back home Monday night due to family and gatherings, and I came back on Tuesday and I already found the violation. Then I tried to talk, I came back to the office, tried to talk to the officer, and he wasn't around, so I left a note. And then I just got a notice to show up here as in the court. So I'm just wondering what's the process on this?
The thing is, it's in violation by the city code. Can't be out there, you know. Like has to be picked up immediately after the garbage is, or at least until the end of the day.
So if any of us go out of town, we all get $25 fee if we cannot take the garbage out the next day.
Yes.
I would understand that if it's a week or so.
Well, if you know you're going to be out of town or you can't make it home, then
Mm,
you should speak to a neighbor or somebody and ask them to bring it in for you.
yeah,
We can't make exceptions, unfortunately, to the code. It is what it is. We really don't have the authority to make exceptions.
okay.
Okay, so
So I went to, I went to the court to kind of ask and talk directly to the, how do you call the code in person? Would it be you
So,
or
the two of us.
whoever? And so then I got this notice. So what, do you just have to go and pay the $25 fee?
yes, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't think there's any action required on our part, so do you want to go to the next
Yes.
case?
So this has been agenda item 6A2, case number EN 220101. Same address, 655 Northeast 116th Street. Says Figueroa, and this was for the holiday lights, which are, as a matter of fact, they're still there. Observed on the 2/1/22, and it continues to be in violation.
They have been there for 4 years. They're white lights and they're not really holiday lights. They're tree lights that I put around my
I'm
tree.
sorry, ma'am.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, they have been there 4 years and they're not really holiday lights. They're white lights that I put around my tree in my front yard. So I don't know what defines, what's the difference. They're white, they're not colorful. And
Were there any other Christmassy decorations, anything besides what we see?
No. Those lights.
So
those
could
are
we-
lights,
We have,
Please, go ahead.
okay.
I
I
can
have
show
to
you
say-
pictures of it. I mean,
You know, I've never seen anybody decorate for Christmas and only put it on one tree, but people do use those little mini clear lights. They string them in their patios, in the yard. They're very much used as decoration. I'm having a hard time seeing those as holiday lights.
I can show pictures if
Not one
needed.
tree with a strand of decorative stuff. when
Well,
you
there's,
see it.
there's several trees, but I nevertheless agree with you. I think that it's like precluding the option of, putting up white lights on a tree.
People do, they do it on patios, they do it in the backyard.
Here's what I'm going to suggest. Is I think this needs to be clarified, because this isn't the first time this has come up, and you're doing your job. We're not criticizing
True,
you.
Exactly.
Somebody had a string of lights over their patio and they got a violation. And I think what we need to do is just table this, is my suggestion, is table this and bring it back to the commission to get this clarified. The commission or the chief or
Yeah,
whomever,
It is, a-
however this is done, but I just,
it's an ordinance that is difficult. to
it's
read by hand,
onerous.
And
yeah, it's very difficult to interpret.
Yeah, exactly. But I
So
don't think, but to just table it, I don't think it's fair to the property owner. I think
we don't have the authority to dismiss it.
Dismiss it.
We can't, either we,
Oh, but what defines holidays? I mean, if the ornament says
Are they
holiday lights, they're not
lights?
holiday lights.
Sorry, go ahead. I
No, what I was gonna say is that if the ornament say holiday lights, I mean, what defines it? They're not holiday lights. I mean, they're white. They have no color
Exactly.
whatsoever on
It's
holiday
not red or
lights.
green or whatever. It's
well, I'm going to make a motion that, I just lost the page. In case EEN 220101 concerning holiday lights, that we table the item until we get further clarification from the village on how to interpret this in the future. Have a second? I don't hear a second, so my motion fails. Anybody care to make another motion?
I'll make a motion in EEN 22-0101 that we dismiss the case and that we do ask Ibrahim to get interpretation later, but for this client, I think it's only fair to dismiss.
I don't think that we have that authority to dismiss it. You have a code, the code is not clear, and we're not the interpreter of the code.
But I think we can look at these and reasonably discern whether they're holiday lights or decorations.
So for discussion, I'll second the motion. And I'd like, I'm in agreement with Janie. I think we all sympathize and understand.
I agree.
I mean, I look at these as white lights and I see them throughout. But, and Gary, I hear what you're saying and I
I'm
understand
sympathetic too.
because-
I said that from the get-go.
Yeah,
And I don't interpret them as holiday lights either, but I don't feel as this board has the authority to interpret a code.
But we do
We're
to a
not
certain
inter-
degree in many situations.
Not when there is no definition that allows us to do this. I mean, we can read a code and say, this is what the code says, or it doesn't say, but in this case, that's not the case.
But there's no proof that they're holiday lights.
I
So-
don't disagree.
To me, they are absolutely not
I-
holiday.
I don't
lights.
think they're
I-
holiday lights.
All right, well. Is there any further discussion? If not, I'll call the vote then. All in favor of the motion to dismiss, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Are you opposed, Gary?
Yeah, I'm going to oppose. All right, we're dismissing that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Clarification of the.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, case number 6B1, case number EEN 220001, property address 830 Northeast 116th Street. And Matthew Q. Bowen and Ashley Sebak for a dumpster permit, no dumpster permit. It was observed January 4th, 2022, and no fine if it was not paid. So they still owe $200.
It still has not been paid?
They applied for the permit, but they
They
haven't
applied
paid,
for
is that correct?
Yep. Oh, it was issued. Sorry. Yes, it was issued, what is it? January 7th.
But he's
Yep.
not, he has not paid for the permit, he's saying?
Oh, okay, did pay for the permit, now the double fees.
Not the double fee?
No.
You know why, Lizzie, they didn't pay a double fee?
It was an oversight by SB, accident.
An accident by whom?
SB,
Our building coordinator.
Oh,
it's
SB.
just a human error, nothing more. By the way, Matthew Bainey, the owner of
Fact that he
830
didn't pay the
Northeast
double fee is
116th
not his
Street.
fault, Obviously. So. As long as he's paid for the permit, I would say to
What was it?
close the case. My
Right.
motion would be in EEN 22-0001 to close the case.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor of closing the case?
Aye.
Aye. Linda?
Okay,
Aye, okay. Motion passes 4-0.
6B2, same, case number EN 220002, 830 Northeast 116th Street, Damona Matthew Bohem, Ashley Sebak, and that would be no portable toilet permit on file. Violation was observed January 4th, 2022, and no permit pulled on that. It was pulled yesterday.
Permits pulled for this also?
Yes, sir. Was it pulled? Yes.
Double permit?
Double
fee?
permit fee.
Yes.
In which,
That's been out there for quite some time though, has it not?
My wife came
you-
in to pay for the permits once we realized.
Excuse
that
us,
it was-
please.
I'm sorry.
Excuse us. We'll allow you to speak. We just
Oh,
want to
okay.
clarify something. How long has that been sitting there?
We observed it January 4th, 2022, and well, the permit was pulled yesterday.
Okay, did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Okay, that has been out there for a month and a half
yeah, since you were,
without a permit.
and he's pulled the permit, paid the double permit fee, but it took a month and a half.
All right. Any further questions? You were going to say something, sir?
Yes, sir. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. This was all same oversight as the fine. It was not intentional. It was human error. And my wife had come in to get both permits. And we actually realized when we were reviewing our own paperwork the other day that we didn't find a record of the toilet permit. And so I came back in and got that permit yesterday. So it was the same situation with the $200 fine. It was simply human error that it was an oversight in the processing of the paperwork within Village Hall. It's human error.
Okay, but a month and a half ago, you were given a violation. So where does the human error come in for a month? and a half?
My wife thought she had paid for everything because she came in and she spoke to the ladies and she paid the fees that were requested of her. She can be found guilty of not reading in sufficient detail to understand that she didn't cover everything. That would be fair. But she trusted that the representatives of the village had charged her for all permits as requested. And again, that's why I'm saying it was simple human error. There was no intention on the part of my wife nor on the part of SB to have not fulfilled that. It was just simple human error.
It was the next day. I kind of buy that after a month and a half. I don't really understand this. It's like, it's your responsibility to make sure that the permit fees are paid and they're properly obtained. So I don't understand how SB, the village, or anybody else has a responsibility other than you. Does anybody disagree?
See, to me, if I got that violation on the 4th, I would have been immediately in the office saying, what went wrong here? But now it took a month and a half. It becomes a little difficult to look at it as human error.
Ms. Anderson, we agree completely. And that's why my wife did come in immediately. My wife did not realize when she spoke to SB, and she thought she had this completely resolved. And she was wrong, because she and SB went through this, but only had paid for one of the 2 permits. The 2 ladies together, neither one of them caught this. And I'm absolutely in no way, shape, or form trying to cast blame on anybody. I wasn't there. This is not about casting blame. That's why I'm saying it was a human oversight. Both the customer and the village, the constituent, the citizen here, and the village were both involved in the transaction, and both of them overlooked it.
Either you have the permit or you don't.
That
Okay,
is
so-
undeniable fact. No
Okay,
question about
so
that,
it's resolved when you have a permit.
which we do have.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just not buying the explanation of why you should be excused from having a permit.
I didn't even ask for an excuse, did I? I don't believe
No, You're
I've
trying to explain
requested
this.
anything,
Well,
unless the record shows otherwise. I've requested nothing thus far.
fair enough. Anybody care to make a motion in this case?
In EEN 22-000002, a violation did occur. Assess a $100 fine and close the case when paid.
In addition to the permit fee?
He paid the double permit.
He paid the double permit fee.
It has been paid.
In this case, then, let me rephrase my motion. The violation has occurred. They've since come into compliance. Everything is paid for, including the double permit fee. Close the case.
Second.
Rephrase that.
That the violation did occur. He's since come into compliance. If everything is paid inclusive of the double permit fee, close the case.
Even after a month and a half.
He's paid the double permit fee. I'll
Okay.
take a friendly amendment.
Look, a month and a half goes by. I thought you were going to go ahead and pose the $100 on top of the double.
Can we split the difference and make it? like
I would
50?
say, yeah, I would split.
How
the
about let's
difference.
make it 50?
Since the double permit fee has been paid, well, I would say then a $50
$50
fine
fine.
and close the case once that's paid.
You wanna
I'll
amend your
second
motion?
that.
Yeah, I'm amending my motion to assess a $50 fine. Make sure the double permit fee has been paid and then close the case once everything is paid.
All right, I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, hearing none, motion passes 4-0. All right, next case.
6B3 on the agenda, case number EN 220018, same address, 830 Northeast 116th Street, Matthew Bowen. This is for the dumpster and the portable toilet, 9 screened in as per our new construction ordinance. The violation was observed January 12th, 2022. And while the dumpster has been removed, the portalet or the bathroom is still there, and there's no screening.
Now, is the screening something that they have to submit to P and Z first, or can they just come in and get the permit?
The way it's written is the building official is supposed to improve the enclosure.
Okay. So they don't have to go to P and Z.
So be it a sketch or some construction, the building official has to approve it. Now, how long has that boiler been there?
I was January from.
January 24th?
12th.
12th?
And it still was never put on.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Realistically, how long before the building official could approve it so we can give a realistic compliance date?
So she comes, the thing is, once the violation was observed, she comes on Fridays. So technically, I would say,
So would she be able to approve it this Friday?
has to go before planning zone.
Oh, okay, it does.
I don't think it does. It's not a construction fence. Okay, it's not a fence. What it is an enclosure, the way it's described in the code around the porta-john. That gets approved by the building official, not P and Z.
But I've heard that before, though. I've heard people say that they had to go in front of P and Z.
That's what I heard before too.
Or the
Yeah.
screen for the dumpster. Or the fence around the yard, not for this, because nobody is going in solely for this. There's not one in the village that I've observed.
Okay.
And in
Mhm.
fact, if for some reason the building official says, no, it has to go to P and Z, the owner can come back and speak to us again and we'll address it, but I don't think
Okay.
that's the case.
So then realistically, if the building official will be in there this Friday,
I would give it a week.
I would give
the
it-
following,
exactly.
the 4th, okay.
But if any type of enclosure, I would think would have to go before P and Z. I mean, unless you're putting it in the backyard.
Yeah, that's my, well, but our Gary makes a point that if,
If it's not,
then we can always.
It's not written
extend it.
that way, so.
Mhm.
But I remember.
No, and
reading
again,
it
if that be the
multiple times.
case, then we will.
Make an
yeah,
extension.
an extension. All right. So with that,
We need a motion.
yes, please.
In EEN 22-0018, a violation has occurred. They're still not in compliance. Assess a $100 fine given till March 4th, come into compliance, if not a $25 daily fine.
All right. A second motion? Nobody seconding the motion?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Excuse me, can we repeat your motion? Is it $100 fine
$100 fine, March.
to get a,
$100
to go to P and Z?
And then March 4th to come into compliance, if not a $25 daily fine.
Well, they can't come in, if they have to go to P and Z, they can't
They'll
come in.
come back for an
Then we'll
extension.
come back for an extension.
Okay.
Dennis, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Linda?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-0. Okay, sir, you understand? What,
Clearly.
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we starting with agenda item 6C1. That would be case number EN 220089, property address 971 Northeast 113th Street, property on EAA Repairs USA Inc. And this first one, roof overhang construction without permit. Violation was observed January 28th, 2022. Notice of violations were issued. No permits have been obtained, and cease and desist order was issued. As a matter of fact, well, throughout the case, 2 of them.
Is there an additional stop work order, Efrain? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
besides
there's-
That first one?
You've got the second one's behind it.
These are all kind of, case 1, 2, and 3 are all kind of
They're
related.
related.
I kind of think we should really talk about them collectively. Um, I don't understand the difference between the exterior construction without a permit and the roof overhang without a permit.
Yeah.
Was it two different items or?
Well, yes, there were, there
Was there
were
other-
interior gutted without.
Oh, but it says exterior here.
And then the exterior, uh, also construction. So there's, you can see the pictures.
But the backup for both 1 and 3 is
Identical.
identical. So I would have to look at 1 and 3 as being the same thing.
Okay, so construction is still ongoing.
Yes.
And no permit.
No permits have been applied for.
Stop work order was issued.
Two, correct?
Yes, two stop work orders.
Twice,
there was
one
one-
on 7/22 of 2021.
Yeah, that was the one that we heard
January.
last year, and now this one.
Now this one.
2022.
All right. Does anybody need any further clarifications? If
So
not,
just, are we considering 1 and 3 the same versus two different two different violations, because we're getting the same backup for them?
well, I will give the owners a chance to talk. And then we'll come back to it and decide what.
Yeah, one has to do, I'm sorry, number one has to do with the roof overhang, if you can see the picture.
Right.
Other one has to do with more stucco wall work.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, that makes sense.
That's fair.
Thank you.
All right, if you would state your name, please. Are you the owners of the property?
My name is Elizabeth Corcho. I'm my owner. He represented me because I don't speak.
Ma'am, it's
good.
very important to speak directly into the mic.
Okay,
You
my
might
name
wanna
is
pull it
Elizabeth
down.
Corcho. He's my cousin. He talked for me, okay?
That's fine. You give them your permission.
How you doing? My name is George Martinez. I just want to go over the 3 violation that was issued to her. Before she started this work, she called the building because she'd already had a problem when she brought this house. And the owner that was there, we had to evict them. It took us 2 months to evict the owner there that smashed all the drywall up. Okay, I just want to give you a little history because she has another violation that we gotta attend to also. It's working and replacing drywall that was smashed by the previous owner. There are police records there in the county. The county went out there, had to evict the previous owner that's been there for a long, long time. She's gotten several violations she did not know, she wasn't aware of. She got a violation for parking her car on the grass, did not know. They didn't even give her a warning. I'm just telling you because she's new to this place, doesn't know the rules, and maybe it's a little bit naive. Maybe she should have come over here. She didn't think there's an association. But this is, a community that has rules and regulation. I understand that. And I'm explaining it to her. But she's gotten 2 tickets for parking. This last time for the roofing, she has a daughter that has a lot of breathing problems. So the wood was run throughout the whole backside. She called the city. She specifically asked, do I need a permit to repair the walls and to replace the facial on the back of the house? They told her no. I came and saw the building official when she got the violation on Friday, because I know her from Hollandale. She comes here every Friday. When I spoke to the inspector, a real nice gentleman, Rodriguez, he says, George, I issued the citation because I didn't know if we needed permits or not, but I issued the citation. I spoke to him myself on Friday, when I was at the building department. And then the building official, I told her, tell me what we need to correct this. So she says, George, listen, I'm not gonna require a drawing, but I need an updated survey. Tell me the square footage she's replacing and a drawing and square footage that we ordered a survey. They're backlogged like a week and a half. So we ordered a survey, it's gonna cost her like $600 because they want a full survey. She wants us to put in details what we're repairing on the walls. And then she had the people go Sunday to cover the facial because her daughter has a respiratory problem. And that's why she had them go out Sunday. And then the police officer that we're gonna do a meeting with chief here, because they told her, oh, if you don't stop, we're gonna take away your house, we're gonna arrest you. And the only thing she's doing is repairs to her house. I mean, I understand you got codes and violations here and rules, but you don't come and threaten a resident from your community. Do not care what it is. I've been dealing with this. I've been on board of Dade County for 22 years. not for a new resident to come here, getting parking tickets with no warning. And I understand that you got rules and regulations. I know how Coral Gables is. I understand that. But at some point, you gotta, hey, let's give them a warning. They're new. She just brought the property. She had issues to evict the owner that was there. And I'm not trying to dispute anything. If we need a permit, we're gonna pull it. She wants to be in good standing with the city that she came and spent a lot of money to buy this property. And we're gonna pull a permit for all the drywall that was replaced inside. We're gonna get an architect. We're gonna do that because she has a pending violation that she didn't even know she had a court here. Because her daughter's sick, so she's been in and out. I don't know if they got her mail or not. Because if not, she would have come. I would have attended and I would have translated for her everything that's going on since she bought this property last year. And to her defense, we just want to get the permits. We sat down with the building official, super nice lady. We ordered the survey to get the overhang done and for her to finish the repairing the side of the walls that she's doing. It's not a hard permit, but they want an updated survey, and we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna address the other issue that you gotta lean on for $2,000. And that's what we're here today to explain to you everything that's going on. Like that, we can move forward and hopefully in the next 2 weeks, apply for this permit once we get the survey.
Well, all that being said, the fact remains that twice, we got a stop work order and continue to work. Okay? I mean, maybe there are other circumstances, but to continue work in defiance of the stop work order, that's really serious. Now, I don't know how to handle that. We're not in charge of them. We don't tell them how to stop. We can't. But the fact of the matter is, we get a stop work order. You stop. If you don't, that's a serious problem. You know, going to construction, ignorance is not an excuse. You go to Village Hall, you ask them, find what you need to do, and get it done. And the fact that you're telling me you want to do these things, you know, what? Almost a month later?
No, she called the village. No, she called the village. To her defense, we're not here to dispute. Listen, she just wants to correct them. But
what's
she called the
really-
village before she did this, because she already had a problem before with the village.
I'm trying to argue with the situation. Okay? It's not worth it. It's get a second. So I don't think, my perception, for me, I think that, you know, the owner has that. Say you're going to do something, continue working, and that's a violation of stop work order.
My concern
No,
is
but
that
she stopped
first
the
stop
work.
work order,
You're
was-
saying that on this second violation, she stopped the work. She got the violation, she stopped the work. Then she wanted to know what she needed to do to get the
Didn't
permit.
stop. She was just
The
saying
first
that.
And we
stop
met with the
work-
building official on Friday.
the
Because
first
she
stop
comes here
work-
every Friday and she couldn't attend for the 2 Fridays because she works overnight. So she
Sure, the-
couldn't attend.
The first stop work order was July 22nd of last year.
Yeah,
And
that's
work,
the,
excuse me.
okay, I'm sorry.
Work very clearly continued for the next 7 months. That's not a matter of she didn't know. That's 7 months of work after the first stop work.
No. Okay, that I understand. On her first stop work order, she was just replacing a drywall the gentleman destroyed. And the police went out there and evicted the owner. And there's a police report in that. That was going on for a
That
month
doesn't
and a half.
change the fact of the matter.
I'm sorry, what?
That doesn't change the fact of the matter that work continued.
No, but that's the stop work order was for work inside in the living room. That the police officer or the code enforcement took pictures from the door.
But then
They
did
weren't doing anything
more work
outside
was-
at the time.
More work was done with no permits.
I didn't hear you. What? now?
Work continued, other work with no permits. That's,
Of the work
that's
inside,
not
you
good
mean.
faith, sir.
But not, no, okay, but I thought we're here for the roof. We're here for the roof violation, right? Because that's what I was addressing. So she just told me about the other stuff when I sat down with her. we're here for the roof overhang construction that we got a stop work order. That I met with the building official. Am I correct with that or? Correct. Okay, so the other work order that she just brought up to me, the one that of the drywall, she's gonna address them. Because she didn't think she needed a permit for replacing drywall that was damaged inside her house. She didn't replace the electrical, she just replaced all the drywall this gentleman hammered, and that we got pictures and evidence that when we took over the property.
But again, we're not addressing that, so
Right,
if that issue comes to us, you can explain it. We're talking about the overhang and only the.
Okay,
We brought up the stop work orders in the context of the code you need a permit. So that's kind of down the ass. What's the process?
oh no, but we stopped, okay, I understand that, sir, but we stopped that work and we met with the building official.
I asked the code compliance officer twice if work was continuing. And he told-
Yes, yes.
No, that's incorrect. They went out there Sunday to cover up the holes because this process was gonna take, because of what the building official said, and her daughter that has the respiratory problem, they went to cover up the hole they did not finish any of the work unless they have pictures showing that they continue doing the work. Because I'm going by what she told me. I was not there Sunday. But she told the people to go and cover up the holes for the bugs and all that humidity outside does not come into the house. So that's definitely, she did do that on Sunday. And they didn't let them do anything. The police officer went into the property, all the way in through the gates. I mean, I'm just telling you what's going on. I wasn't there on Sunday, so I couldn't tell you.
You're lucky to get a violation for working on Sunday.
Can't work on Sunday either.
Violation. Anyway,
Construction work cannot be done on Sundays.
okay, so. Anybody have any further questions? Okay, now, the question is, three distinct violations. I put the question to the board. How do you feel? I see
think-
it. Oh, go ahead.
I really feel when you have three different violations, we've got to address each of them separately so that it's clear. Here's the problem, here's the problem, here is compliance, any fine, whatever. I think they need to stand alone.
Disagreement or?
No, I agree with that.
Okay, so. Dave?
Read by one.
Yeah.
Okay, agenda item 6C1. A property address, I'm sorry, case number EN 220089. Property address 971 Northeast 113th Street, property owner EAA Repairs USA Inc. Roof overhang construction without permit, violation was observed January 28th, 2022. This work order was issued, well, not for this one, but violation continues, no permits have been obtained.
Yeah, the stop work order was not.
No.
Second stop work orders.
You care to make a motion?
Okay. Now, where do we stand with these, Efrain? I just want to be clear before I make a motion. To this point, there is still no permit.
None.
None of that.
Okay. In EEN 22-0089, a violation has occurred. Assess a $500 fine. Give until March 9th to come into compliance by pulling the proper permits. If not, a $50 daily fine.
Okay, I think this does have to do with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
Can't do it March 9th.
Well, the next P and Z meeting would be March 7th, I believe. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Bear with me, get my calendar. Yeah, it should be March 7th. All right, shall we amend that? Shall I amend that then to
But you need to apply. in
A week.
a week?
Week.
A week. So, yeah, they should be okay as far as applying. But in case there's any issues, why don't we make it March 23rd? That would give them if they had to go back to the second P and Z meeting in March. So
We're
I would,
trying to get a survey also. So, but I know that's not our issue.
but,
I think given to March 23rd.
Right.
would be sufficient.
Okay. Let me amend my motion to, that the violation has occurred, assess a $500 fine, give until March 23rd to come into compliance, if not a $50 daily fine.
Second the motion. Further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
62, case number EN 220090. That would be property address 971 Northeast 113th Street, EAA Repairs USA Inc. Conducting construction with cease work order issued. The violation was observed January 28th, 2022. Construction continued. Cease work order was issued and the construction also continued.
Yeah,
Me
this,
too.
if you
This
look
was
up Florida
very
statutes on working under a stop work order, it is considered.
That's
extremely
serious.
serious.
That's serious.
That's what I'm debating.
And
As to technically our code, it could have been arrested immediately.
Yeah, that's a,
All,
you can actually issue a $10,000 fine.
police could have been, and
Mhm.
all workers could have been
Yep.
arrested.
Hey, I have a question. In this particular case, since it's working under a stop work order, can the fine be immediate without us having to set, a compliance date
That would have to
parameter?
be
Would be
a
immediate.
legal issue.
Right, because
So
exactly,
it's-
it is
it's
what it is.
irreparable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just wanted to confirm
Done,
that. Yeah, I would, okay, I would make the motion in EEN 22-0090. A violation has occurred. They're working under a stop work order. I would assess a $2,000 fine.
Does anybody have any comment? I would put this in the category serious. as a life
Serious.
safety, so I was looking-
I was too.
I-
I was too.
Okay, I would amend my motion. In EEN 22-0090, violation has occurred, assess a $2,500 fine.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Agenda item 63, case number EN 220091, property address 971 Northeast 113th Street. Property owner EAA Repairs USA Inc. That would be in exterior construction on property without permit. Violation was observed 1/28/22, and again, construction continued throughout after another cease order issued.
Is it still in progress?
Yes.
Still no permit.
Still no-
Mm-mm.
And this would also be something that would need to go to P and Z?
Yes.
Okay.
If we're
One-
doing-
Always want to confirm. Okay. Ready for a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. EEN 22-0091, violation has occurred. It's still in violation. Assess a $200 fine. Give until March 23rd to come into compliance, if not a $20 daily. Aye.
Opposed? All right, do you understand everything that we said?
Nope, we couldn't hear what you guys were saying.
All right. Okay, since you have the notes.
by the 23rd of what, March? March, okay. I just want to ask a question. If she did not continue the work, why are they finding her $2,500? She has not continued to work
It's
on
not
her,
true.
on her violation of the roof. I want to know why the board is finding her $2,500.
Testimony of the code compliance officer, I've asked it like 3 times,
Okay?
that work continued.
He wasn't there on Sunday. He was the officer that gave the ticket the first time. And you're saying that the testimony from the officer that was not there on Sunday is testifying for Sunday.
Didn't say something.
Oh, no, because you're saying the officer that was here testified that work was continued. The officer that was there Sunday wasn't Mr.
We're
Rodriguez.
not talking about Sunday, sir. You're bringing that up. That's not the issue. After the stop work order was issued, work continued.
The pictures,
Nothing to do with Sunday. Sunday is just,
Okay, they have pictures that the work was continued when he gave a stop work order?
yeah, on 220.
Okay, can we see that? Because when he gave the stop work order, there was no more work done.
sir,
Unless, I'm just going by what my cousin's saying, the owner. So we would like to see the pictures because you guys are finding us $2,500 that she could, I mean, she just bought this new house that she's coming to a lot of debt because of her daughter also. And I would like to know what work was done after they gave a stop order. If there was work done, there's nothing else to say. We'll address it when we finalize the permit. I understand that, but I would like to see the evidence that work was done when he gave a stop work order of that.
please, okay, look, we're not here to debate. you, Okay, you're welcome to go into the building department tomorrow and request information to go over the file. We are not prepared, nor are we obligated to do that this evening.
No, I understand that, but you're giving a
Sir,
testimony
I
today.
asked you very politely to please stop. You voted on the issue, you have the opportunity, go to Village Hall tomorrow or any other time, request the information, ask for an explanation, look at the files, whatever you'd like to do. It's been made, you're welcome to come back, but we are not going to debate that this evening.
I understand that, Gary, but we can't ask questions. You just made a decision, so we want to ask a question, and I think we have the right. That's why we came out of our time to come here in front of the board.
We gave you an adequate explanation. Okay, I've asked that, please read it to you, we discussed it here. Again, sir. I'm
Okay,
not
so
going
that's fine. So what you're saying,
I'm asking you very politely, to please sit down and be quiet, okay? We are not going to discuss this further.
so why do we have the board? Here? Isn't it to discuss our case and why we're getting fined? Because we can't hear you clearly? And you're telling us to sit down and be quiet? And we're here just to make sure that what you're saying is
Don't you
correct.
understand? You had a stop work order, okay? You didn't stop, we fined you for it. You were supposed to get a permit for the overhang work, you didn't get a permit, we fined you for it. You did exterior work on the building, you didn't get a permit, we fined you. What else do you need to?
Okay, Gary, you're 100% with what you're saying by what you have, but he was not clear when he gave the citation. And when we called the building department in our defense, they told us we didn't need a permit. So that's very unclear because the type of permit that you need, at least like in Dade County, I'm just trying to explain something. It's not just a survey. They did not touch the roof. They did it.
Sir, I'm really, I'm trying to say myself, okay? I feel politely if I can. Please, there is no need for further discussion. We've explained it, you have the opportunity for further information. There's nothing more to be said or done this evening. Thank you, please.
That's all. We have nothing else to, no other case.
No, sir.
Yes, they do, I think.
Can we discuss that now like that?
We were gonna talk about putting a
How does
lien
the
on the
lien work?
property.
When we correct the violation, we come in
We were
front of the board
talking about putting a
to
lien on
see
the
what they
property.
do, or how does that work?
What is he asking you for?
They do, they do, yes. There's a proposed lien to be put on the property for all of this.
Oh, yeah, they have the
Because they got a,
supposedly 7A.
That was the violation of June. Or,
July.
when they brought the house.
they had a $31,000 lien on it.
There, you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, agenda item 7A, yeah. Interior, the property address 971 Northeast 113th Street, property owner EAA Repairs USA Inc. That was for the interior demo without permits. Of course, no permits have been obtained. And this was observed June 26th of 2021. The fine issued of $2,000, Delhi fine with $200. Compliance date given 9/6/22. I'm sorry, 9/6/21.
No, we were going to talk about, maybe we should put one.
Anybody have any further questions or clarification? Considering the approved fines.
I have a second. Aye.
All right, so we are recommending, which means if we don't do it, but we are recommending to the village due to the accrual of, at this point, roughly $31,000. Done at the exterior.
Of how much in fines?
I believe
35A.
35,000.
So what's the process of appealing this and correcting it and how does that work here?
Request, you fill out a form with the village, pay a fee, and you request a hearing with the board. You have to correct the violation. No permit has been pulled. If there's still an outstanding violation, we will address it. The violation has been cured, then you can come back and request.
Yeah, have a good day, Mo.
Okay, next one, 6D. We at 11603 Northeast 11th Place. Case number EN 220064. Porfino Hernandez and wife Gladys. And it's for the bamboo fence, permitted bamboo fence. Violation was observed, or caution notice was issued on January 26, 2022. Notice of violation was issued on February 5th, 2022. I spoke with the property owners and they have some, I could say that they were advised by another code enforcement, place it there, place that bamboo fence. So, well, I'll let them speak. You know, I'm just going through what I,
All right, does anybody have any questions for Ethan?
No.
All right, if not, if you would, if you'd state your name and your.
Sure. My name is Jasenia Hernandez. This is Porfirio Hernandez, and this is Alberto Hernandez. We're the owner at 11603 Northeast 11th Place. And the reason why we're here because of the bamboo fence. We bought the property 25 years ago. On 2017. We was told that we needed to remove we needed to remove, what was that thing called? The inserts on the fence. So they told us to place bamboo. I came right here and I asked the question. I asked what kind of bamboo. They gave it to me. They told me what to get. I got the letter saying They gave me 10 days to replace it. I replaced it and it was closed. Case was closed. I have documents where I could show you that it was okay. And then now we received that we cannot have the bamboo fence. And it's,
Ma'am, you have something in writing?
yeah, I could show it.
Would you pass it to
Could
the
we see
code
it?
compliance officer? Oh, you have it?
Research also.
And you concur?
Yes, I concur.
All right. And we apparently have that. They have it. Thank you.
Research. 2017.
All right.
Thank you for keeping good records.
Thank you. We
Thank
have
you.
records from everything, even records that they had lost here from when we first heard about the
Much
property.
appreciated.
That-
Thank you, sir.
Everything that we had done by permits, is all put away.
Good on it. What is your-
96.
What's your intention in terms of this fence? Because it looks like, I mean, it's just not gonna last forever.
For the bamboo,
Yeah.
nobody wants to go down, we'll replace the bamboo.
I mean,
Good.
I mean, it was, when the code enforcement came and told us to, maintenance, we thought we just had to wash. So we did,
Yeah, we watched
so
the
we
same-
thought it was brazen, but it meant to be removed.
Told the same thing, and then he clarified it, because
Yeah, 'cause we
maintenance
asked
to
him.
us is you're making the property, keeping it up.
Well, here's the problem. It is a code violation. Okay? And we can't tell you that you can keep that there forever.
No, I totally understand, but it's like, changing the subject a little bit. Every time there's a new code enforcement, someone's coming to my house.
But unfortunately, what you were told, and thankfully she put it in writing, that was so completely wrong. That officer
Correct.
did not get it
So it's
even
like,
close
that's
to
why I
right,
want to keep,
which
I
is not
keep-
your problem. I know.
If
Okay.
Memory serves, that was probably shortly after the code was changed. I think it was after, I don't think it was before, but there was a code change concerning fences.
What year is that dated, Efrain?
2017.
No, it was
That was,
before that, 'cause Bob was on the
From
committee.
here was
So that was
7/20/2017.
That was after.
For that.
Yep.
Before that. Anyway, I'm going to make a motion, to open this discussion.
I'll second.
All right. Motion and second for discussion. Given the evidence and the fact that this is now a violation, my suggestion would be that bamboo remains until it's deteriorated
50%.
50%, then it's removed and it is not replaced.
I would second that.
Bill?
I'm full agreement because I think,
Absolutely.
given the.
Does that make sense, folks? You can.
Okay,
keep-
here's what we're suggesting. We haven't made the motion, we'll have to vote on it. That we let you keep the bamboo fence until it's 50% deteriorated. At which point you have to remove it and not replace it. So you come in compliance with the code. Okay?
Okay, but you can keep
I
it
know
now.
you'd like to keep it, but we really can't, we don't have the authority to allow you. to keep it. Oh, yeah, there's no problem with chain link fence.
Okay, oh,
Yeah, It's just the bamboo that's the violation.
okay, 'cause at first was.
Before it was the other
chain
way
link
around, right,
violation, Then it went to bamboo. But okay, I mean.
Well, do you still have the slats in this, the fence?
No, that's gone.
Oh, okay, great then, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, no, that
All
is-
right,
Yeah.
all right. We can't get a permit to put the bamboo down.
Once the bamboo.
The ones the bamboo's gone.
Bamboo's gone. You wanted to take the chain link off to make it look.
Yeah.
No problem, but get a demolition permit, okay? If you're gonna take the fence out.
Well, it's really not a fence, it's indoor,
Sorry.
in
Oh,
front of a house.
That's all of it.
Oh, it's not-
It-
it's
it-
not-
it-
it's not a fence.
Like a gate.
Okay, whatever.
Like a gate.
And it's made out of chain link fence, but it's really just a barrier. It's
Well,
not-
just, if you're gonna take it down, just make sure you get a permit. Okay? Ask if you need it.
Just come to the city and say, this is what I want to do. Do we need a permit? And they'll clarify.
Okay,
Yes. Right.
Okay. Violation is occurring, however, under the circumstances in that previous permission was given to leave the bamboo fence or install it to begin with. I'm making a motion that the bamboo fence be allowed to remain until it's 50% deteriorated, at which point it must be removed and it cannot be.
I would second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. You got it? You
Yeah,
understand?
I got it, but I would like to say one more thing if it's okay. I'm just gonna make it short and fast. I understand we get new inspector and they all have been very nice to, whatever we need or whatever changes there are. But there is a commissioner here that is always sending, every time there's a new code enforcement, they send it to my property. And it just happens to be that. I mean, I'm not here to complain about their property, but, we all have to be fair. And I have the
For
name
some
of
reason,
Ambassador.
you feel that you're being targeted or.
Yes.
Really?
That's how I feel.
Please discuss it with the village manager.
Okay,
We don't tell anybody what to do. Okay? We do not tell the code officers what to do. We have no authority or control over that, specifically what we're doing with.
okay, we'll go ahead and do
Thank you
it.
for your wonderful representation.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Okay, 6E, that will be case number EN 220019, is 11703 Northeast 11th Place here? Okay. So that would be
Sorry you had to sit through a couple of long discussions this evening.
Charles Michael LaFruz, 11703 Northeast 11th Place. Also, bamboo fencing. That was a,
Oh, that's
Oh.
her purse, right? I think her purse.
okay, so that would be Charles Michael LaFruz. And of the correction, notice was issued 1/18 of 2022, and a notice of violation 1/31 of 2022. That was for the bamboo fence. It continue, it's still violation.
Anybody have any questions?
Okay, so yes, I'm Michael, the first owner of the property. I got a permit in 2013 for exactly what's there, the bamboo fence. And I came to this board and got permission for the permit, and then they issued the permit. So I don't understand the violation almost 9 years later, why it's a violation now, and it was permitted in 2013.
Well, like I said, I'm amazed at the bamboo fence.
That I didn't find it. So can you provide?
The other permit?
Yeah,
I have the permit here. I sent it to you and the village clerk
Did
by
it?
email. And you guys put it in the file. It's there.
So you're saying that permit is for a bamboo fence?
This is it. They call it a wood fence. That's what
Yeah,
they
that's
call
not
it.
bamboo.
I'm sorry.
It's not bamboo.
This is the permit I got. It's the rest of the entire property is chain link. So this is the fence. It's been there for 9 years.
Looking at the P and Z notes from June 17th, 2013, it says fence, motion to deny fence permit due to material chain link. So that was denied, and you have a fence permit, so we really need to see what it's for because.
Right. So then the following meeting, then they changed that and they approved it. Because I came in and we talked about the
Right,
entire thing.
okay. It says
Right.
resident change fence material to wood.
Right, which was bamboo. Ma'am, I'm sorry, the permit was, the discussion here in this arena
Mhm.
was what the material was gonna be. It was bamboo and they approved it. And there is, are you, sorry? The,
I'm looking at the notes from that.
right, but there, if there is no wood fence, there never was a wood fence. The permit was pulled, it was inspected, and I have no open permits, it was closed. That's what was inspected is the bamboo because that's what for 9 years it's been there. That's what the permit was for. The permit was inspected by Sal, the building inspector. I don't know if he still works here, maybe not.
That's it.
And the permit was closed. It's what it is. It's a wood fence.
So
The
he-
wood is bamboo.
Okay, we won't go. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, sir. It's just a little bit frustrating because wood and bamboo is not allowed in our code. Wood is a completely different situation, but if you have a signed and final permit, if you have a signed and final permit,
Yeah, well, I couldn't find it.
can we see it, sir?
I have the permit.
Here it says on the plan, it says wood fence.
Right.
And I don't see anything on.
You don't see it final, okay. Okay, so it's not final. Okay.
So are you saying that I have an open permit?
Never been final.
I'm sorry?
Never been final, because it would say either passed or failed and signed by an inspector. And when it was never signed.
So you're saying I have an open permit?
I don't know.
I don't have an open permit. Sal, I met Sal out there myself. That may not be, that's a copy, it looks like. Maybe it's not,
There is no inspections listed there. There's nothing
some
to
little-
show that inspectors were ever there.
I'm sure you would have sent me a violation if I had an open permit after 9 years. I met him out there myself and it was done. I mean, otherwise I would have gotten a violation for an open permit, not having closed it.
Yeah.
I think that we've had the same chair on that planning and zoning, I think. Do not think that a mistake would have been made.
I met in this arena and we discussed what would go up. It was bamboo and they wanted to make sure it wasn't the skinny bamboo, it was the big bamboo. That was the permit.
You can find documentation states that was inspected with bamboo. It's come back. This time, I don't think it's enough.
That and the lack of not having permits.
So when I called this city, you guys didn't even have record of the permit being pulled whatsoever. Correct? No, it's true. You didn't find the permit.
Try to research, to see if we could find any.
And you found nothing. And so you don't find, and so how are you to say that it wasn't inspected if you have no records whatsoever?
You were,
What we're saying is the permit. Individuals that are on here very much the code. What's the difference between wood and
So is, Olis, these people are around still or no? Olis in,
Everybody that was on that board, but the chair is still.
okay,
Gage Hartog, you certainly want
I'll be happy to talk to them.
Okay, but at the present time, given the circumstances, I don't see how we can support the violation. Has anybody have any further questions?
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was that permit for? So where's the wood fence?
You never built it.
Clearly, you didn't build one.
No, it's not clear. I never built it. It's a bamboo fence. Is the wood. The wood material is bamboo. That's what was approved. So
We're going around.
I know, but the thing, you guys are assuming things that aren't true. There's no wood fence. There never was a wood fence. That was the fence that was pulled. And that's the same fence that's there.
There wasn't a wood fence. We're saying there shouldn't have been a bamboo fence. Because it's approved according to our records. I don't.
This is a joke, actually. How can you 9 years later say you never put it up? This is what's up and it's been there for 9 years. You can look at it. It's not brand new. You guys don't even have records yourself and you're, this is a joke.
All right. Any further questions? Not, I'm gonna give the motion.
So I'll speak to these people, I guess, in the city and find out.
I'll make a motion in EEN 22-0019, a violation has occurred. Assess a $75 fine given till March 4th to come into compliance, if not a $20 daily fine.
Second.
So $75 is for what?
For putting.
No,
up-
I'm trying to understand what I'm being violated for. For what?
Have a motion, I'll be happy to discuss it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion. What, that's $75 fine for a violation of our code.
But what did I do?
All the bamboo fence, which.
With a permit. With a permit.
I know, we don't know what the thing.
This is a joke. You pull a permit, 9 years later, I get a violation for doing something that I got a permit for.
I understand your frustration.
No, you don't though.
We don't, we can't support. the issue.
But you have no records. Yes, I do. I have a permit. Right.
And it's not final, sir. It's not showing any inspections, please.
Please is correct. Please. Where are your records showing it wasn't inspected? It's a joke.
Sorry you feel that way about the bill.
For what? So I also want to, so I'll talk to the village manager. Is that who I should speak to about the violations? Because ever since the councilman moved in next door, I never got a violation. I got 20 because of Mac moving in next door, installing his own fence, and then I get violations for the dog going under the fence that he put in because he left a huge gap under there. And then I get another violation for the dog defecating in his yard because he didn't install the fence properly. Continuous violations from him. So it's not right. So I'll discuss it with the village manager about all the violations.
Bear in mind, we can discuss it with him if you feel you're being persecuted. But
I absolutely am.
he does not have the authority to override the fact. You cannot speak for him. Don't go there.
I'm not looking, I'm looking for some justice, not you don't have any records, but you're going to make a judgment. It doesn't make sense. Because you didn't have it.
Six F1. This F1 on the agenda, case number EN 21-1314. That would be 11910 Northeast 11th Court. Property owner PM2 Group LLC. Failure to install construction safety fence. Violation was observed 12/12/21. Was it with, here it was to, the February 7th,
Or they have been.
and then being reviewed.
They were already under construction.
Oh, yes, they without a permit. I'm the one who
Do
went
they-
over there.
Was the permit issued?
No, no permit was
yeah,
issued.
I'm sorry. Okay, still in P and Z.
Yes. That's just for the. For the.
Looking at the pictures. and this is actually violation of that construction zone. Construction pool. So I would make a motion case EN 21-1314. That's the violation as occurred. And $6 and the daily fine is the property not brought into compliance. Say March 23rd.
March, okay.
And if not, a daily fine is one. First and a second, all in favor, say aye.
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 I'm sorry, how much was the daily here?
100. All right.
6F2. Case number EN 21-1315. Property address 11910 Northeast 11th Court. PM2 Group LLC, and again, the pool being installed without any permits. This same day went to PNC, being reviewed.
All right.
It was also been cited previously for a lot of work without purpose.
Oh, really?
Yes, bathroom windows.
Exactly. Because that makes a substantial difference. in the
Yeah,
fine.
so they were, cited for
Can
bathroom
we reopen?
and windows without permits.
Can we consider reopening EEN 21-1314 in that case?
Why?
Because of the multiple.
Yeah, but
It's
you
still-
have- you have less construction.
No,
without a
it's
permit.
different.
Okay,
Okay, then you have the pool without a permit.
all right. So we'll do, okay, okay, gotcha.
So,
So to me, when I look at a pool, you're talking water and electric. I view that as life safety also.
I agree with you.
I mean, you don't have to think real far back to remember little kids that have been electrocuted in
This
their
is-
pools.
That's exactly why I'm open. to discussion. Because I feel that it's life safety
Absolutely,
plus
Plus.
the permit issue,
right.
which we have at least 3 previous violations.
Yes.
Okay. So if you were just to go with general, I mean, you're over $800. You want to consider electrical. Don't know if it was that much.
It's just like a hole.
They were, I mean, just starting the pool, so they had this big hole, fence. I don't know, they were, I didn't get inside the yard to see if they had any, started any other wiring.
And typically, they would. So my view would be that $2,500 plus $800. $3,300.
I would second that.
So
33.
All right, case DEM 21-13, 15, a violation has occurred through being installed without a permit. Previous violations have occurred where permits are approved. Assess a fine of $3,300 and a daily fine of $100 a day. After March 3rd, the permit.
March 3rd?
March
March
20.
23rd, I was gonna say.
March 23rd.
Uh, okay. I would second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, motion passes. Anybody have anything they'd like to discuss?
Make a quick announcement. You probably heard that our code enforcement officer Walker Izquierdo is no longer with us. He went to greener pastures.
No, probably not greener, but, well, yes, I'm sorry, never mind. We're talking the dollar sign greener.
Watery pastures. He was game.
I think it's time for you to promote it.
Oh, that's what I keep saying.
That's an interesting point. Lizzie, have you taken the code course?
I'm trying to get her.
Really?
We haven't issues. We tried. She doesn't drive.
Well, code enforcement is better done.
Well,
sorry, code
she
enforcement
could
is
use that,
Better done on foot.
can she use the she could use the Segway that Sally Hayman donated?
Is that still here?
Yeah.
Or the
No
grader.
kidding.
Or the grader.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
Right.
Oh, no.
Shantae's,
Not really.
March 16th.
Yeah, March 16th. Second.
Right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
We will.
I know, right?